All right, we're going to close this out. Now, the goal is to not close that throughout all of today. Okay. So like I said before, this is where you sign in for PD credit. So if you want to get PD credit, just make sure that you digitally sign this form, and I will make sure you get it. Okay. So welcome everybody. I'm so glad to see all of y'all together again. I know we don't get to meet that often, but I'm thankful because Dr. Pouncey has asked him if I could meet with y'all every semester. So that's going to be excellent. That way we can stay up to date. We'll keep it going. I'm going to continue the online webinars, and also I've been coming out to y'all schools to train. So if y'all want me to come to your school to train, can absolutely do that. I'll go over that, the details of that a little bit more. But I'm also going to continue doing that summer training. So, you know, if y'all want to do that this summer, that'll be available as well. I really want to keep the support and training ongoing so that we can continue growing and getting better and learning new things together. So I really appreciate all the hard work y'all have done so far. We went from the scariest looking websites ever that people didn't even know we had, really, to these, you know, beautiful new 21st century websites that are so much easier to use. I know there are still headaches, but that's the case for everything in life. But I really do think that what we've got is such a better experience, not only for you as the web admins, but also for the people viewing it. It's so much easier to find things and organize things. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate all of y'all's time. It's not a secret. I know we don't get, you know, we don't get paid to do this, but I think that what you are doing is so important because, you know, if we don't communicate our own stories, then someone else is going to do it for us. And I think that by putting out our good stuff and making sure that our parents and everything is up to date, we're really doing a service to not only ourselves, but also our entire district and community. So I really appreciate the effort that y'all have already put into this. And we've definitely had some roadblocks. I know that we've had some issues with logins. Y'all, if I had to talk to those people one more time, I thought I had explained it. So anyway, it was something way over my head in the data, or, you know, it was a technological glitch that every night reset our login credentials, because what I've done, I want y'all to understand how it works. I give Michael a list of all of y'all as the web admins for your school, and that's actually in our Active Directory. So y'all's admin rights are tied in Active Directory with that group. Well, every night it was resetting that AD group and not putting y'all in the correct place. They supposedly fixed it. I know that some of y'all have already told me that you're still having issues, but we'll make sure to get that resolved. So please let me know if that's the case, and we'll get it taken care of. Other things are, obviously, I'm really trying to work on implementing social media into the school. And I'm going to start really, I'm starting now, but I won't be ready to start with y'all until next semester. Just making sure that the process that we use is secure and safe, and you know, we've got to make sure that we've got all our I's crossed, our I's dotted, and T's crossed for that. So, or the other way around, probably end up like. But I think it's going to be great. We're going to start off with one person in every school. It's one key communicator, and then the principal and probably assistant principal will have access to Facebook. But there's a whole way we're going to have to go through and set it up. It's going to have to be through your @JeffCo email addresses and all that. So a lot of you already have Facebook pages, and I love seeing everything y'all posting on Facebook. So if you already have your Facebook page set up, it's very easy to make it through your @JeffCoEd email address. I have guide that I've started. So we'll get through it. It's going to definitely be a journey, but I think that we'll be able to get there together. So that is ahead. I'm still also working on, there's a certain licenses for Communicate, but I'm like, why? The key communicators, they're key communicators and they're not using the software that is called Communicate. So I'm really trying to work on getting y'all privilege to get into Communicate, because if y'all can do that, then you'll be able to post to social media from one spot. You know, like those programs like Hootsuite, and there's another one that anyway, you'll be able to post from multiple places one time. You'll also be able to send parents text messages, emails, and phone calls. So this will be the feel good, news and stuff. So I'm working on that as well. But I just want everyone to, I really think some people think mission statements are cheesy, but I really do think that when we're all on the same page and we're all working towards the same goal, we're going to be so much more successful. So I just want everyone to keep in mind that what we're doing right now is like, I don't even know if other school districts do this. So I think we have a really big opportunity as the second largest school district in Alabama to be a leader in communication. So I want y'all to know that this is an opportunity to change the way people think about public education. I know that, November 8th is coming up, and we've got the election coming up, and it's we're not even going to get into that, but I just want y'all to know that, it's so important what y'all are doing, and I just want y'all to know that it's appreciated and that your service is doing greatness for your schools and your communities. So just always go back to the mission statement. Now we'll get into the good stuff. So these are the current things that I have in place that I consider resources and supports for you all. That includes the new blog that I started that I hope that y'all are liking, but I'm going to get some feedback in a minute on all this stuff. The Google Plus community, which is really for us to kind of brainstorm together. At first, that's what we had, and then I was sharing tutorials and stuff on that, but it's not as easy to navigate and search. So really want to use that Google Plus community for us to just kind of dialogue back and forth, share ideas. But it's a great, like a forum, if you think of a forum. That's kind of how I want to use the Google Plus community. And then, of course, the email chain. I have it set up in a Google group. So if you don't want to go stream back through all your emails, y'all can go to that Google group and y'all can look at all of our emails from one screen. So that's also available. Of course, the YouTube videos that I've got to make more of. And then I just sent y'all this morning the first Key Communicator newsletter. It's kind of baby right now, but I'm going to make it better. But if y'all check your email, I sent it to you. If you didn't get it, let me know. I'm using TAC to do this. So all the stuff that I'm doing, I'm trying to things that y'all can also use, so y'all can get ideas. But TAC is a great little free service, and you can send out newsletters from that. So if y'all wouldn't mind pulling up your email and looking through that, we'll go through it together as well. And then also the monthly webinars. And then available to you and your school and your staff is training and meetings. So I can come train you as a key communicator and your principal and assistant principal if they want to get involved. We can set up a meeting where we all just work together. The most successful is when I just come out there for the whole day and we sit there and we work and we get a lot accomplished. So really enjoying doing that. If y'all want me to do that with y'all, we did that day and that we got a lot accomplished as well. Then I can also come out and train your teachers on their teacher website. That's what I've been doing the most of, and it's been really good. most teachers are on their teacher website, and so far, some you just can't please, but most of them are really excited about it. So, and then also if like your staff, they may not have teacher pages, but if you want me to train them on how to manage like their counseling page or the library page, or if athletics wants to keep up a page, and that kind of thing. Because remember that with these websites, it's not y'all's responsibility to update every single page for everybody. Y'all give them rights and they go do it, okay? So we've got to train them. That way it may be a lot of time of training up front, but in the long run, it's not just going to be me up here updating everything for all these departments and y'all at the schools updating for all of your teachers and stuff. We've got to share the responsibility to make it most successful. And then, of course, a lot of you, one of the surveys that I sent out, a lot of y'all are interested in like rebranding and coming up with a communication plan for your school. And I'm so glad that y'all are interested in that. So if that's something that y'all want to talk about, just email me and we can set up a time to do that. If you want to rebrand your school, if you want to have a strategic communication plan that everyone follows, if you want to know more about how to use Facebook and social media, all of that stuff, we can sit down and discuss it and come up with a plan. So please let me know if y'all want to do that. Okay, so here is all of the links and things we're going to be using today. I'll email y'all this PowerPoint so y'all can just click on the link and not have to look up here and type it. But of course, I was trying to think, okay, if that saying, if there's an app for, if it's something, there's an app for it. Well, if you got a problem, we've got a form for it today. So we've got one for anybody who needs Active Directory changes. Remember that I wish I could do that, and I wish I could do that, but we can't. That's something that's controlled by Active Directory. So if you are still missing staff members, or if some staff members aren't coming up, this form right here goes directly to Michael. I think right now there's like 95 submissions. So he's working through all of those. So please be patient with him because he is the only person in our district who controls that or has anything to do with it. But that is the form y'all will need to use. And you can always email him. After you submit it, you can say, hey, submitted the form, just to remind him, nudge him a little bit. And then the form for website changes, if anybody still has issues with their colors, or they want to change their website background, or the colors aren't right, something within your template that we can't control that we need to get School Messenger to do, that's the form that you want to fill out. Then I've got this form called the I Wish form, and I just want, if you don't want to fill it out, or if you can't think of anything, that's fine. But I just want to know from y'all's point of view what you wish you could do to improve communication at your school. Like something you're not already able to do, or something you can't do that you wish you could do to improve what you're already doing. And then we've got the Dropbox that we share. This is where I've got a folder set up for every school. That way when I come to your school and we want to quickly share something, we can drop it in our shared folder. But I've also got other ones set up for like the template background changes. You can put your background in there, your logo, and then there's one other folder that we have. So this is kind of the little folder that we all share and drop files into. And then, of course, the blog that a lot of y'all may be following along with today. I'm going to be using it. And then our first newsletter. And then, of course, the Google Plus community. And then our email chain. So I'm going to email that to y'all. And then we're going to get started. Share. Okay. All right, so y'all should get that PowerPoint so y'all can have the links and everything to it. All right. Now, let's dig into the websites. I'm going to get my... All right. Who do we want to use? Let's use Grantswood. And your pretty little owls. All right. So we're gonna, and I'll probably switch back and forth, use elementary and a middle and a. How many elementary school do we have? How many middle school? How many high school? Okay. All right. They all work the same. They just look different. But so we're just gonna kind of do a refresher right now for those of you who already know this stuff. If y'all want to tune out, you can, but you may catch something. So when you first get to the website, you obviously have to log in. That's step one. Because if you can't log in, then you can't have editing rights. So if everyone will go to your website, and remember that the login is the first part of your username. Mm-hmm. And then also remember, if anyone has trouble with logging into your website at your school, and they come to you and they say, I can't log into my website, the first thing that you want to check is obviously stand there and watch them, make sure they're not using the @JeffCoed. They're using their username. The password is the same. If they can't get in, if it says invalid credentials, that means obviously that the password and username aren't working. So if you'll go to any Jeff Coed computer at your school and hit Control-Alt-Delete and reset their password and then try again, they should be able to log in. That's what you do first. Then if that doesn't work, you need to call help desk or tell them to call help desk. And they'll have to see because they may be logged out of Active Directory. Yes?
Only the tech rep is called help.
Okay, only the tech rep. Okay, so tell your tech rep, and then they will fix it for you.
That
Yes.
just cuts down on their call.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
after that point, the people tell them they can't fix it. Because we've had that issue on one of the employees, she's already called, now we can't do anything to fix it. Because it's saying her username and password's working, but it won't let her log into the website at all.
Send that to me, and if someone says like we can't do it, just send it to me, and then I'll talk to them and we'll work through it. But that's the first. So don't email help desk. We probably need to change that because when someone can't log into the website all across the district, it says contact help desk because that's what they told me to put.
You can just talk to Mike.
Okay, I'll be like, if I need to take that off, I definitely do that. Yeah. Because they get like, and some stuff, it's like duplicates and all that. Okay. So when you get logged in, y'all should see the little black design toolbar from the very beginning. Y'all should see this on every single page of your website. If you don't see this right now, let me know and I'm going to come fix you right now.
Is this the backboard? Is it your background? playground.
Yeah.
At Perry High School, it's like golf holes too.
It
It's
is.
like a bunch of people.
See, it did that before. Yeah, it did.
But we can't change that, right?
Right, right. Yeah, Internet Explorer, it's not updated, Internet Explorer
Also,
doesn't work. Yeah, Internet Explorer is not. I will say, if anyone's using Internet Explorer, if they just can't let go of Internet Explorer, tell them to update their Internet Explorer. It's because they're using outdated versions of Internet Explorer. And when our new website shows up with all this complicated new 21st century code, it's like, what is that? And it freaks out. So that's what's happening. That's wrong. Yesterday, I was like, okay, okay, refresh your phone. There you go. Okay, who else? Who else did it?
So for the math story, their background.
Yes,
Before.
okay.
Okay.
Because it did this one other time before, where everyone's got, and then the next day it was just gone. Because I recorded the school messenger, and they were like, you don't see that. And so I don't know if they, all these mysterious things happen.
What you want, turn something
Yeah,
on
because
the
someone
door.
kind of like came to work background.
Yeah, give me an artist. What are y'all feeling?
Something kind of in the mid, not too high, but not too low.
No, thank you.
Yeah, November 1st, here we go. Or their stays are set. They're getting lost. Okay. So now we're good with login credentials. That was awesome. Only 2 people. And I'll make sure something's probably up with the group. So I'll make sure that y'all will not have to wonder every day if you have rights. We will not go back to those days if I have anything to do with it. Okay, so once you've logged in, I want everyone to look at, we're just going to kind of go over the homepage basics first and how they function. Grantswood rebranded. They did this logo. Didn't y'all just do this logo? Like y'all just got a group together and kind of created this? Yeah. Okay. See, go get her. He just did it, and they loved it. The whole school loved it. So now they have this logo, and it's awesome.
Well, and we're the Mounties, and draw or find a kid mount. I dare you. It doesn't, like, it doesn't define a Mountie. I dare you. So, we're a K2 school, so there was nothing that really, like, nothing fit. So we just went with the G. And owls, you can't go wrong with owls.
No, the owls are great. They go excellently.
So, the logo.
Or the logo or the name of it.
So
Oh, I'll show y'all that.
the logo is literally, it's all in Publisher. It is a capital G with a font that I liked. And then the chevrons on the side are two rectangles. And two triangles turned, pushed together, blurred, copied, saved. There it is.
Ta-da!
It is as fundamentally basic as you can.
But it looks wonderful, doesn't it? So, if y'all don't have a logo yet and you want one, talk to your principal. See if you could work to kind of come up with one. If they want to be more involved, get a group together. I can come to your school and we can talk about it together. But we can get y'all a logo. I'm a graphic designer, so I can design y'all a logo if y'all need it. So if y'all want one, let's get you one. Just let me know. But this logo and this information right here is controlled by something in system administration that we will look at in a minute. But if you want to ever update your logo, you have to do it within this little part. And I'm going to show you how. If y'all ever want to, I'm pretty much, if when everything happened with the rezoning, I went in and changed our official school name. So really, y'all won't have to worry about that. I'm trying to do that from the district level. But I'm going to show y'all how to do that just in case something weird happens. You can also do a tagline here, or you don't have to. So I'll show you how to put a tagline in as well. This is obviously the navigation bar. This is like the skeleton of your website. Literally, this backbone. It holds all of the contents, the meat of the website. So this navigates and organizes everything. So when your people are coming to your website and they want to go find something, they're looking, okay, what category do I belong under? So think about when you're organizing this, think about, get into the mind of your viewers and try to think about where they would go to find something. This obviously is the slideshow, which is excellent because you'll see that Lindsay has got it to where when you hover over, you'll see that in his slide, he has minimal information. He has just what he needs to get his parents' attention so that they'll then go follow his call to action that he's included. Call to actions are huge in marketing and advertising. People don't like to be told necessarily what to do on a personal level, like if your mama tries to tell you what to do, but in advertising and marketing and anything to do with communication, people like to be helped to get to where they need to go. So always putting in this call to action is a great tool for you. So you'll see when it says click here, you literally click there, and it takes you to a page that lets you know what you need to know about Grantswood registration. So then they can print this out. They can do whatever they need with it. They could share it. And then also he gives even more instruction in letting them know that the registration's under quick links. Now, some people, when these websites were set up, they were all kind of the same, but we're not all the same, and in no way should our website look the same. So if we want to move things around, you'll see that Lindsay has pulled up the quick links because he probably assumed quick links should be quick, so they need to be at the top. And then he put his upcoming events over here to the left so that they're bigger because he knows that his parents are coming to look at his calendar because he's keeping it up to date. So he's chosen to put these two at the top. Then he's got his headlines, principal's message, the district announcements, which are pushed out by me, and then weather. And then, of course, you've got your footer, and then you've got your opportunity to put your Facebook, Twitter, all your social media icons down here. Okay? So, for the most part, this is what you're going to be spending the majority of the time worrying about is the home page. Is the slideshow updated? Is my navigation bar easily able to be navigated? Are my teacher pages set up? Which we're going to get into that. What tools do I use to design this slideshow? How do I get it in there? How do I connect my calendars? And how do I add news? That's what y'all's main focus is. And then everything else, you know, you're helping other people get their stuff updated, but you're not doing it for them. This is y'all's main focus. So we're going to start, let's go back up to the design toolbar. This design toolbar, I feel like when I say this to people, it kind of clicks. And when I first got into this website, you know, I didn't have any formal training at first, and I just kind of tried to get in there and figure it out myself to see what it would be like if I didn't know anything. And I think the thing I was most confused about first was like how the design bar responded to how I knew that what I wanted to be done is actually being done. That didn't sound right at all. But how the design bar connects with the page. So what I've learned is that whatever page you're on is what this design toolbar is responding to and is giving you information for. So right now I'm on the home page. So when I go up to page options and I click on anything, it's going to give me it for this home page. Now, if I want to go click on students, this design toolbar now is going to give me the information for students. So this bar responds to what page you are on. I don't know if that helps anybody, but when okay, good.
And you may get to this.
Mm-hmm.
But what is confusing to me is I'll be on the home page, and that's really all I want to work with. But then when I get into a section of it, like school news,
Mm-hmm.
then what directions or what tools do I use?
Okay, so like when you're going to add news.
Right.
Okay,
Just can't figure it out yet.
okay, we'll go over that very explicitly.
So
Yes.
To clarify what you're saying
Mhm.
about this working from only that page. So if I want to work to another page, I go to that bar and go to where I want to go, and then it will work to the page that I'm on.
Right. So the first step is to go to the page you want to work on. So if you want to work on the home page, you just stay right here and this will connect to the home page. But let's say one day you want to work on community. The first thing you're going to have to do is go to community. And then you'll be able to work on it. Does that make sense? Okay. Because I was like, how is this because when I'm hitting plus page, what am I adding it to? It's the page you're already on.
And I wasn't even thinking of it necessarily as a plus page, but more of when we go to that page
Uh-huh.
at first.
Yeah.
I eventually figured out that's not what was happening.
Right.
But I didn't understand how to get
The flow.
to the flow.
So this is, you only come up here when you're ready to add a new page to the page you're on. So if you wanted to make a page underneath community, you would first click on community, which is where we are right now. And then you would come up here to plus page, and then whatever page you add is going to become a sub page of community, and it's going to show up right here below it. Let's say you want to add a sub page to a sub page. you can do that too. Because think about like an outline, like Roman numeral 1, big A, and it kind of trickles down at it towards the diagonal. That's literally how this is like set up. So if I hover over students and I want to put a subpage, like I want to add something underneath guidance right here, I don't click on students, because if I clicked on students, it would add it right under here. I want it to go underneath guidance. So that means I have to click on guidance and then come up to plus page and add it from there. And it will go underneath guidance. So I think that will hopefully help a lot. And obviously, if you want to like move a page, you have to be on the page you want to move first. And we'll go over how to move pages too. Okay. Then I'm going to show y'all the I'm going to get this part over with because it's not fun at all. The system administration part. So if everyone go up to your little dots up here and click on system administration. All right, so the main ones that y'all are going to be using are right here at the top. And it's underneath General Administration. This one right here, Server Settings. This one has a lot of stuff underneath it. All these little tabs fall underneath this. But for the most part, y'all are going to just be using Server Information, the Server Information tab. This is where you put your name, which comes up right here. If you wanted to add a slogan, it would populate right up underneath your logo. If you wanted to change your logo, you'll see where it says logo and there's a little picture, a little camera. You would click on that and that's where you would upload your logo if you wanted to update it. If your address, you know, for some reason, I'm pretty sure everybody's address is right now. But if for some reason it wasn't, you could change it here. And then if you wanted to add your hours of operation, you can. You can also add your Twitter, YouTube, and if you have I know y'all have a general email address, don't y'all? If you have like a general email address that you send out, then you can put that there. We don't have, for the district, we don't have that. But if that's something y'all want to do, you could just.
Yeah, we just made a Gmail. It's askgranthood@gmail.com because we don't want Anna Tillman to be on every email that comes from the duty. So, and that inbox bumps to Ms. Tillman and myself so that it's not cluttered.
Yeah.
All that.
So if that's something y'all want to do, you can absolutely do that. And if you have Instagram, you'll notice there's not an Instagram here. But if y'all do have an Instagram and y'all want to add it, put that in that website changes form. Because I know you have Instagram. Yeah. So.
I want my class, so I would put it, I guess, under my class page.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you have one for your school, or if you want to start one for your school, that's where most of the students and teachers are. So if you want to start one for your school and you want to add it to your website, little Instagram icon, just let me know because we can get School Messenger to do that for us. Yes. Yeah, because I had to set up yours today like I did. You probably don't as well. But when I get y'all's fixed, y'all be able to see that. It's just the way I had to do it today is kind of the back end. It won't be there tomorrow. But I'm going to make sure y'all get set up. Okay, so that's that. All right, I'm going to cancel so I don't change anything. I'm going to go back to server settings. The other part, yes, sure.
So my Instagram and my Twitter are library Instagram and Twitter. Can I add that specifically to my library?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the other parts that y'all will be using is manage users. If you click on manage users, this will help y'all, like, let's say that Mr. Donald Garrett is having trouble at your school and he can't see what you're seeing. You could be on the phone with Mr. Garrett and you could say, hang on, Mr. Garrett, let me log in as you so I can see what you're seeing. So let me start back. So this first screen, we were here, and then we clicked on Manage Users. Okay. All right, so you can search people, or if you know, it's all listed right here, page numbers. But let's say that Mr. Donald Garrett, where'd he go? Here's Mr. Donald Garrett. So I can either scroll down and find Mr. Donald Garrett, or I can search VGA. You don't search their first name, you search their username, and they'll come up too. Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to tell myself to take people off?
Remember that Michael Hicks is the only person that's able to do that. Because this is all populated by what's in our Active Directory. So if it's not right, if you take them all out tomorrow, they're coming back.
Gotcha.
So don't waste your time doing that, because just fill out that form and pray that Michael gets to
Give him a list of only who I need on our list, or would I do better sending him on who to remove? And
out on the form. There is. Let me show you the form.
Yeah, it's where Mr. Garrett's from.
well, and that's-
He's not even there.
That's-
Mr. Garrett's not even there. Okay. Or do we still have any people that have passed? Because last time there were people who had passed away that were still in our Active Directory. Okay. So this is the form right here. It says your school's directory page is populated by Active Directory, which is managed by our IT department in order to make changes to that directory, blah, blah, blah. School name, then who's the name of the employee you want to change, what is their username, what is their position, and then what needs to happen. Do they need to be added to our directory? Do they need to be removed from our directory? Or do they need to be updated in our directory?
I do one for each separate. Okay.
Yeah. Just because he's going to get so many submissions, and for him to get through with it as fast as possible, I wanted to make it to where he could just look at a spreadsheet and go down.
Okay.
So that's, and I know a lot of y'all look, well, I can't see the other part, but there, I think there's like over 95 responses. Yes, ma'am. I'll ask him if he's letting people know. I'll ask him if he's letting people know. Yeah. Hey, you're in there now. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, so back to when we were pretending that we were on the phone with Mr. Garrett, who was having trouble. So we searched his name in this little manage users part, and here he is. So we can come over here to where it says actions, log in, and I can click log in, and now you'll see I'm logged in as Mr. Garrett. I don't have a design toolbar anymore. So what he sees, you then see. So then, of course, when you're done, you can log out and then log back in. Okay, so that's how you would, you can also see if I turned off, you know how people were getting locked out at the beginning when we first, I was like, this is not, because in Active Directory, we already have something set up to where if you try to log in a certain amount of times, it'll lock you out of our server or whatever. So when we got this website, they had another lockout thing. So it was double lockout, and I was like, there is no reason for this. Let's turn this off. And now it's been so much more peaceful. But if for any weird reason, we know how things mysteriously happen. If someone, you'll see right there where they're locked out, and you can literally click unlock, and that's all you do. But that shouldn't happen. But if it does, that's what you do. Okay, that was the not fun part of the system administration. If you want to play with other settings, go for it, but those are the two that y'all be using the most to troubleshoot and help update your website. Okay, let's see. Yes. Yes, and that is in, like I said, there's a form or something for everything. That is in our KC Dropbox. So if you go to the Dropbox, you'll see a folder for school template background changes. You just double click that and then put your image in there and then name it your school, because I shared this folder with School Messenger and then they just go in and get the image out. But then we also have the school logos Dropbox. And then we also have, which we say that again? Oh, good. Yeah. School supply list. I'm just gonna plug this in real quick. School Messenger has this ability, so y'all can send me your school's supply list, and we can have it really nice populated on y'all's website. I have to resend those direct. I sent y'all some instructions a while back on it, but you can do it if you can do it by grade, or there's a lot of different ways you can arrange it, but there can be one place on your website where parents can go to look at what their kid needs for their supply list. So if that's something that y'all want to do, you get all your teachers to, I don't know how, does every teacher get to pick their supply list, or is it like by grade? Okay, so then that way it's not all over the place. So y'all could have it like by grade, and then that way there's one place on your website where you can tell parents, hey, school supplies, we need it. Here's where you go to find out what your child needs. So if you're interested in that, you don't have to make it look pretty at all. You basically just have to send me the bare information, and then I give that to School Messenger, and they do all the work. So if you're interested in that, let me know. All right, and then I have our shared folder. It's at the top. So this is that folder I was telling y'all about that I've got set up. So if we need to quickly share something with each other, we can just go to our little shared Dropbox. Okay. Let's go back. All right. So we're going to first look at organizing our navigation bars. That's number one on the list. So I'm going to pull up Hueytown. Hi, and then who else? Okay, so we're going to be looking at the navigation bar and how schools are organizing it by grade level. So Grantswood has got it set up underneath school. And honestly, like Accelerate Jeff Coed, this page, it doesn't have any content. Well, actually you did. You put it on there. Go you. So that connects to the district's page. Excellent. If there's any blank pages on y'all's navigation bar, because remember when I set these up, I just had basic information that was kind of the same across the board. Well, now if you haven't taken advantage of a page, you don't want to use the page, you can just remove it. It's better to just hide it, get it away, than have a blank page on your website. So if y'all want to take like 10 minutes and go through your website and find pages that you don't need anymore, and let's get rid of them, or let's hide them. So let me show you first how to do that. So, is there any page you think you don't need? You already know.
I think I did that the other day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it and then I'll put it back. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to pretend that I need to get rid of E-Day activities. I can get rid of fine art? Okay. I'm going to get rid of fine arts. But yes. So what I do to do that is I've got it, you'll see that I click on academics because I know fine arts is not under school, it's under academics. So I first have to go to the page that it's listed under. Once I go to that page, I then come up to page options and then page status. And I see there's my subpages. There's my fine arts page. Well, I want to hide it. So the way I do that is I just literally click hide section. Hey, Robbie. Yes. Sure.
What's the difference between hide section and hide selection?
Yeah, it's not silly at all because I had to ask the same thing. Okay, so hide selection would be if like I did this and then went up and said hide selection, which you probably won't even use that. I've never used it. But, you know, you may have a purpose for it. But for the most part, you'll just want to do the hide section. So you'll see when I close that, it's going to refresh, and then fine arts is gone. So why don't we take a few seconds, a few minutes, and just kind of go through our navigation bars, find some pages that we don't need or that are blank, and remove and archive them or either hide them. Yes.
Question.
Sure.
So on the home page of our website, we have the upcoming events, and when you click on it, it takes you to a calendar, which is where we have all our, let's say, we have popular events. However, over here, we have school calendar, which is nothing, and we also have a district calendar, which is nothing. So like that,
Yeah, if y'all have like, this is a great example. So when I set up y'all's pages, it was like I created that everyone has that like school calendar and district calendar. Well, if you're using another calendar, definitely don't confuse people and have more than one calendar. Remove the one you're not using. And y'all can remove the district calendar because that's already embedded. So we don't even need that. Yeah, just get rid of it. Because it's already embedded to y'all's main school calendar. Mm-hmm. Underneath what? Okay, I'll show you how to move the page. It's totally up to you if you want to keep this. Okay, I'm going to show you how to move the page. If anyone's interested in moving a page, I'm going to show how to do that real quick. I'm going to move.
This events must be under school.
All right, I'm going to pretend. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is click on the page you want to move, which this is about. So are you on the page you want to move? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on advanced options or hover over it. And then you're going to click on move page. Click on browse. Then when you get, you there? Okay. So this little dialog box that comes up here is your breadcrumb, as they call it. And you'll see that right now we're underneath the navigation bar, if I click on this, this is everything that's in my main navigation bar. Default page set. And that's really your navigation bar. So everything you'll see, academic, this is in alphabetical orders, but you've got academics, you've got athletics, here's the calendar is out, that's just already in there. You've got community, here's employees. So everything, now you got kind of have like a bird's eye view of everything. So now we're going to click on the page we want to move it to. So if it's underneath a page, like let's say I want to move it underneath something under athletics, I would have to select athletics, and then it would make it a sub page right here. But if I wanted to make it a sub page of a sub page, I could click on the word academics, and then it would come up with their sub pages, and then I could select something else, and then it would make it a sub page of fine arts. So you just have to pick whatever page comes up right here is what it's going to be under. So play with that and let me know if you need me, and I'll come over there. Now, where did I move? So I would say how to page, it's like, it's a page you're working on and you're not quite ready for it to be shown to the public yet. Or maybe it's a seasonal page where you only need it during these months, but you don't want to recreate it every time, so you just hide it.
I'm like muting it.
Or what?
Muting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's there, but I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. Exactly. But our having it is like you don't need it, you just want to get rid of it, you want your you need to. Yes. Or go back to students. Go back one more. You want to select it. So you just have to kind of keep going back to the left. Thank you. Yeah. You don't get that. This part about. I don't know what she like what is the goal for the school, and then you can say, to see how to get the school.
And then you want to create a subpage, you're gonna stay there on the
And I'm gonna show
page.
y'all something now, that if they use that, like, if you could say, like, saving it is saving for media. Publishing is publishing. Wait, I gotta change the
That's because they put it over from the old website. Even if it's not there, they have to add it. And you have to get them right. So
So if I want this, go.
Right. So, you want this image?
I need the events thing there, so I can start it there.
Okay, so turn this on and on.
That's good. That's what I've been doing, is clicking. That's where, I'll go there. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that makes, so save is like the notes, if you were typing up a page, you were having to but you want to save it to yourself. So you're not on the computer. So, click calendar action. And then underneath calendar. So you go to status. And then, section.
I don't think they want you to link that on site. But I can hear it.
Well, we did this before.
Gonna keep going.
Yeah, you can.
You can create a school calendar under you, and then you have to find it. We're gonna go over it, so you're gonna be in some. Yeah, I know, that's what I. Within an hour,
That's it. Yeah. That's our logo. We kind of use it.
You pick the calendar. I say, we do all that from our phone. I've never done it from. The computer. That's what I want.
Or the back.
And they can check out a room. Amanda figured out how to check out.
Yeah, Jay Green. It's like a sort of one on the desk, so I haven't got that.
Okay, now we're just gonna look at our break.
But also really neat because
We're gonna be selecting people.
Okay, so,
And then we're gonna select. So what we did, this is the break. The very end of your row.
I do too. I love it.
This is like our starting. This is your, I love
Yeah, but that's what I was reading.
your navigation bar, and then this is going on a field.
Gotcha.
So what we were doing was we were moving like
Okay.
moving it on this main navigation bar. So to do that, we backed up, we clicked on center point, so that we were able to select because we see that page that is already there. And they're all kind of, you know, this little dog that builds upon each other, and that's like literally what that is.
So then I just did it here.
Yeah, just close that. We want to hide that, remember that. So, I thought we first. If anything you want to roll from the navigation bar, you gotta start on. Because anything that's rolled from
This is what
Okay, but see, page seven, so that's what allow me to do is just simply hide.
or you can archive.
Yeah.
If you don't want it all.
That's one.
But I would always start.
I will share.
Fresh, there's a lot of shows, there's a. Yeah, we're definitely.
I'm just creating the calendar.
Okay, yeah. I forgot to put this out, it's just what we're doing. Only one though.
Still one form. That's for me. Basically, only. And when I made my picture, so this is what she put on there. When I use the template, they're shorter than the ones I made using the instructions.
What, no, it was, I think there was something.
See, I just. I really like quick ones to go right.
Yeah, no.
Do you have your
This is the one that I'm using stuff in because it populates it. And where this calendar is, where it was, I mean, if you saw, so we click on calendar. So then what do you do?
we may accept
Well, I just add stuff to it and add something and I want to pop up on the front page or just go on and add it to this. So everything that shows up on here will show up on Facebook. And it brings like the first next once you learn how to do it, it's good. Until then,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So that is where it goes.
Yes, 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 because that's what I was thinking.
Well, let me tell you something else. I want mine. I know it is, but I'm not there, but,
I think you turn down
So I guarantee you,
We don't have this for lunch. I'm not having all this for breakfast. I'm already- Seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13. So take a 3
But watch out.
Today's
and then you just run check your
Okay, so I.
Yeah, you could, like,
Okay, so.
yeah, you can make it. But I think, so what I did,
I realized the other day that I got an email from.
Yeah, okay. So, if I wanted to,
First, get them.
okay.
you could place in the
I've asked them about, like, I was going.
okay, so tell me.
I have mine. Either to website or on the content, just
There's no other way.
we did, like,
So I tried this, just loading that, but going to the
and also there's it's quicker than what I.
Okay. And that's why I was on video, I posted that YouTube.
And then I moved on to
And then it's just,
so that makes it easier for the easy.
Yeah, I know, I was, the teachers.
Down here, it says something about calendars. And I wanted an eye calendar. So I did this.
what about?
Alright, so I'm under school calendar. Is that where I need to be?
Yeah, it looks like
So
this.
external calendar?
External calendars. And then. Paste it in, I saw, oh, and there's, sad eye let's start with that. Yeah. This is a word. Because the YouTube, you know, like YouTube.
See, that's good. It's all on time. No, this is what she. That's one I've done before. That's one I've done. That's one I've done before. And this one, she's new to. Yeah, I like that. But my thing is, what I use it's different from the other instructions. I mean, I put all these pictures up by the these. So that she did this. But it's so she. So.
But you can do it for these.
Here's
Usually do this.
But it can also. We can get up.
Yeah, I just don't do
You can also put it in Facebook here, that has like the
which I don't know.
but then you can also.
So, I know this is kind of but it has like a hard drive and say stuff like that, stuff on my stuff, you know, that's
already under control.
It looks like that's.
Not the way. But there is a.
Which is so Google Docs is your.
Well, you know,
Because I want to fix it. I want to use this.
I'm gonna share with you.
Well, I have, there's one for elementary, there's one for middle, there's one for high school. I'm using the one that says middle school, but it doesn't match up.
Okay, I'll be right there.
That's fine.
This is a touch. But this turns in, we can do lots of stuff, but it can also. And it has a removable keyboard. So I'm playing with this too. Yes, sir.
Set my Wi-Fi, notice it is the same as my other pictures that I had put up earlier. Like you would, they're all bigger, like the Wi-Fi one, but when I try to use the template, it makes them short. See, these are my old pictures that I use, but when I use the template, it makes them short.
Okay, so what's happening is probably one of the biggest things. Go to free environmental. Is it the free environmental? You can actually see it again. And then there's a, see how that one is 300 and not 380?
Right, and so I'm gonna see, but those are the ones I use the template.
Okay, so those other ones are, you were kind of estimating.
No, I use their one guidelines, you know, how it said to use that any video converter and use the thing. But the thing that made me think that should not change them all is because your Wi-Fi is factory. So the Wi-Fi one follows the
I would
guidelines.
pick what you want and pull up the template. It will show you how to change it. So this is what you always do.
Alright, well, that was cool with this picture.
So go to your file. And then change interest picture. And then you can change yours from what, because really, you know, if you wanted to make yours lighter or something.
I just didn't want to, I mean, since the Wi-Fi one is about 380, I didn't want it to be bigger and then change all the rest.
Yeah, yes, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Alright, thanks. That was easy.
Yes. I like it. And I think that you
So you have to do holidays, I'm not over the house, and then come to the breakfast like that. Policies are here.
Right.
That could be new, I mean, yeah.
Okay,
And
no,
then this is gonna pop out of
okay, so that's good. I thought that, okay, very fine. I got them all, each and every one. But look at this. I don't think they should.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're just moving, it's their responsibility.
okay, so they're going to do that. What happens to the other one during the Detroit directory? You must have Detroit directory, that's the same.
Right, but that's just an active directory. Their teacher website is not tied to active directory for that directory. They're not connected.
Picture on there.
It's up to them.
Great.
So I'll be headed along.
I mean, it's much better. I just was confused.
Okay, so
They
one day,
don't have Ryan.
I'll give you one, I'll the initiative. So, let's say that someone comes in and they go to the teacher directory, will it carry over on their, so we'll see it both ways. I can see it earlier, once they start working on their.
Yeah, that will be where all the teachers. You're gonna have to click on each one of those and move to the where they belong. You may have to recreate the pages. So if you want to,
This is, see, I've got a, well, the clear on their.
see this right here, that's whole March one. It's just the
Right here.
So that, all of these people over here are supposed to be showing up. Once you move them, this doesn't change your slideshow or your slide. This is in no way connected. These are all individual stuff.
Okay, so then the teacher directory, which I thought I moved, which I did, right? And it moved correctly.
Because like,
But if I move them correctly, will those pictures show up?
yes, because they have an outlier. That's just a thing. So,
There's only one that is, and that's, Kim Carter.
yeah, see, Mr. Brett is going to get that.
Right.
So like, John.
Or something like that.
That's exactly what I think.
Oh, you got it.
If you've already moved on this before, then all you need to do is.
See what, what I did. I made pictures, you know, I can send you that. I just put one and one. And so I get.
So they're gonna show her in teacher directory.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna let that come out.
Another thing is this trackpad is annoying.
Oh, doesn't want to cooperate with you?
This one is. Yeah, you've already used this. Just keep it in that open. Like getting the
Yeah, because,
yeah, and then I've got form.
so there's nothing that I can do.
Correct. Neither of us. You just have to sit down form, and then like us will have to. This is all connected to our active directory.
We're gonna talk about the grade, so.
So once we get that active directory,
Thank you.
You got your teacher pages, and then they come school for directory, it's just an overview of your
And so it remains like that. Now what about the picture? Will we see pictures?
Yeah, I will show y'all how you're gonna have to tell people to add their picture.
And I've got here some of these reviews, so I need to send them to Michael.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to show you right here your slideshow using PowerPoint, but I'm the size of this. Okay, that is just the text. The actual size of that whole box. Yeah, I can't figure out how to. So let's do that. And then to change the size of the file. There's no size that you want. Okay.
Yeah, I can send a ton of things. I'm walking on that thing, so I have a heater.
Okay. Now that we've had some time to work, let's look at using the slideshow. Is that something that everybody definitely wants to learn more about? Yes, okay, great. So let's look at the slideshow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show y'all, because I want today to be a lot of work time for y'all. So I'm going to show y'all when I get done, then y'all can work on it. That's how we're going to kind of move today. All right. That just updated too. I like their website. I love their colors. All right, let's pick Oak Grove because I just want to show off their slideshow. Your slideshow is really good too. Okay, but this. Okay, so I want everyone. I'm gonna brag on Oak Grove High School. Their students are actually doing website work. So they're actually designing the slides for their school. How cool is that? So this, I'm going to show y'all. I think some of these were probably created in not Google Drawings, wouldn't you? Because this is, yeah. Nice. It's just, okay. And a little BYD. But aren't those great? Let me show y'all. The photography that Mortimer Jordan does is beautiful. Very clear. I think that's a picture of their cheerleaders. Hueytown. Carol's in the house. She does all hers in Google Drawings too. So I just wanted y'all to see this one. She's listening to what her staff is saying that is a problem in communication. Like This was because her secretary's parents were calling, and that all they wanted to be able to know was what their teacher email address was, and she got that so many times that she was like, you know what, I'm going to create a slide for it. And the minute she created a slide for it, the calls reduced. So you can see your immediate impact when you do something like this. So listen to the communication problems at your school and say, ooh, I can just create a slide for this and help lessen the calls or make the communication more clear. Let's see. And then, of course, to get that. Okay. So I'm going to, on the Communicate Jeff Coed blog, I have an entire post about slideshows. So if you want to go here and kind of follow along with this as we go, you can always refer back to this. So I want all of y'all to think of this slideshow as literally prime real estate. This is the first thing that people see when they go to your website, the very first thing. So this is your first impression. Now, if you have some pictures that are this big and some pictures are this big and your website's jumping up and down, how long do you think your parents are going to stay on your website? Not. So that's why we use those templates to make sure that what we're putting in our prime real estate looks good and it's communicating clearly and it's not jumping all over the place. So definitely think about that when you're putting or when you're creating your slides. Let's see. Definitely include a call to action. Like in Lindsay's, you saw he put click here, learn more, view here. Any kind of call to action you can put indicating that once they click, something happens on that slide. And it's the slideshow is not just, yes, you could have a slideshow somewhere on your site where you just demonstrate images, but really you need to be using images but putting text on top, because like I said, this is the first thing people see. So if something big is going on at your school, you may want to advertise it right there and not just in the news section, or you may want to advertise in the slideshow and not put it in the news section. Okay, so we're going to, if you scroll down, also I've got the slideshow template URLs. So I'm going to use a middle school template. So when you these templates are exactly what they are, templates. So that means you've got to make a copy before you can actually use it, or else we would all be working off the same slideshow. So the first thing you want to do when you get to this part is go to File and make a copy. This little dialog box here is letting you name your copy. So I name mine consecutively so I can keep up. So I may call this slideshow 1. And then this part right here is letting you select what folder in your drive you want to put it in. So I'm going to back up and put mine just out in my drive and click OK. All right, so now when you get to this part, the very first thing I do is delete. You see how I just click and drag? That's the easiest way for me to be able to grab that box and delete it. And now you can see I've got my blank space. When I first get here, the edges are really close. I like to be able to zoom out to really see the space I'm working with. So I go to View and I change it to 50%. And now I can see this is the space. This is how big I need to make my slide. So you can absolutely make the solid color backgrounds. The way you would do that, you can right click on that box and you can hover where it says background. You can even do a cut, like your custom color. So if I went over here to Hueytown, I've got a little plug-in on my Chrome browser that's called Colorzilla, and it lets me pick up the code of color wherever I am. I use this a lot. It's a free little extension if y'all want to add this. But I can go to any website. I'm going to pick this gold color right here, and you'll see it's copied to my clipboard. So now I'm going to come back to my slide, and I'm going to go back to where it says background and click custom. And then I'm going to paste my background color in there. So I know it's going to match my website perfectly. Okay. Or if you didn't want to do a solid color background, you can add an image, which is what I like images. Images tell stories. They communicate messages thousands of times faster than a sentence does and more. So when you go to add an image, you want to click on the little mountain. And you'll see that you can drag an image. You can take it from your computer. You can upload it by URL. I put everything in Google Drive, so I'm going to click on Google Drive. And then I'm going to go find an image in my documents or in my photos. And then also keep in mind when you're selecting your image, if you're taking up and down shots with your iPhone, they're probably not going to look like what you think they're going to look like in your slideshow. If you use your phone to take pictures, y'all turn your phone horizontal, because I promise you when you get to upload them to your website, they're going to look more like what you want to, besides vertical. Let's see. Okay. So I found my picture. And you'll see when I insert it, it like makes it the same height. So it automatically matches the height. But what about the width? So what could I do with this slide looking like this? I could either, I've got some options. I can either move it to the side, and then I could put maybe some text over here. That's an option. Okay. Or if I didn't want to do that, I could make it the same exact size as this shape. Well, how do I do that if this is all I have to work with? Google Drawings has a tool, and you'll notice it goes away. Whatever you click on, it shows different options based on what you've got highlighted. So when I click this image, the little crop tool comes up. It's okay. We need a little music. So when you come to this, it will let you crop the image. Well, first, I've got to get this image proportionately to scale, because we're key communicators. We do not pixelate, and we do not squish, and we do not make skinny, okay? Whatever that term is. We use images in their proportionate, like they were supposed to be used manner, right? Yes. Okay. So the way we can make that happen is by putting the image in one corner. And I love Google Drawings because it has those, see how it snaps it to the grid with those little red lines. So I take this corner and I drag it all the way till I get to this size. And it'll like snap. See how it snaps? And I let go. Okay. So now I've got to crop this, because obviously there's some down here that needs to be taken off. So when I click my image, I can then go select this crop image tool. When I do that, this little black bar comes up. So now I'm going to push this. You can see how I move it farther up than I know I have to, so I can see where that shape ends. See how the color changes? That's how I know. So now I'm going to pull it back down to where it snaps into place, and I'm going to click over here. Well, this isn't the exact spot of that image I necessarily wanted to feature. So how do I move that picture around now that I've got it cropped to size and it's proportionate? All you have to do is double click in there and then move it up a little bit. So now I've got a better looking image. It's proportionate, it fills the span, and it's not pixelated. Do it again. Okay, well, so I'm going to delete it. I'm going to select another picture. So I'm going to come up here to where I can find my image. Now y'all may use your computer to find, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to go find another image. Okay. And there it goes. It fit it right there in the middle. It's in the center, and it's got the height correct. Now I'm going to move it all the way over here to the corner. Now I'm going to take this little bottom right-hand corner, and I'm going to drag it till I get to that side. I'm going to let go. Then I'm going to come to my crop tool. I'm going to click it. And then I'm going to move this way up so I can see how far I need to bring it back down. Let go. Click over here. That's not what I necessarily want to show. So I'm going to double click. And then I'm going to make it that. You could even zoom it farther in. So you can really get down to that space that you're trying to highlight. Okay? And you can move it some more. That's really terrible, but y'all get the idea. Okay? So maybe this slide has to do with technology in some form. It's always good to pick an image that corresponds with what you're talking about, obviously. Okay, so now I want to put some text on top. One of the things I like to do is I like to use the shape tool. And I like to make it a little bit translucent so you can kind of see behind it. That way, just because we only have so much space, I still want there to be image to be visible, but I want the text to pop. I don't want them to have to squint their eyes to see it. So if I click on the shape, which you can pick lots of different shapes, I'm going to just pick this basic one. See this little, the circle and the square? Can you see that? And I'm actually going to, let me zoom back in a little more there. So I'm going to pick the square. Now I'm going to drag it about how big I want it on here. So probably like that. And then I'm going to use my little snap to get it perfectly in the center. See how that makes it perfectly in the center for me? Now, when you first draw a shape, it automatically puts an outline on it. Y'all see how there's a little black line around that? Well, that's a pet peeve of mine for some reason. I don't know why. I only like it when it's used appropriately. So when you highlight the box, it gives you options. So this color right here, I don't want that color, so I just change it to transparent. That way it's a solid color box. Then I'm going to click back on my image and I'm going to make this gold. Y'all know what I mean. Okay, well, see how it's solid and like I can't really tell necessarily what the image is. I like to make these shapes translucent. So the way you do that is you come up to your fill color and you click back on custom and you see there's a little opacity range. And then that way you can kind of see the image behind it, but it's going to make my text pop more instead of it being text straight on an image. So now we've got a text box tool. So when I click on that, I'm going to now drag this to the size I want my text to be. Now I can change this afterwards. But just like any Microsoft Word or anything, now I can change my font. And who loves Google Fonts? Because I'm obsessed with Google Fonts. Love Google Fonts. We'll use Swanky and Moo today. And I'm going to change it. Swanky and Moo. So I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to make it centered. And then I'm going to maybe put something like Student Tech Camp. This needs to be much bigger. So I'm going to make it like that. I can bold it or unbold it based on whatever you're trying to do. And then that's all I want to put in there. Now y'all can put the dates or whatever, but I'm making this up. So I'm going to put my headline in there because I want to keep it simple. And then I want to fake them out, and I'm going to basically make a fake button. So I'm going to come back to my tools and draw another little box. I'm going to get rid of my stroke, and then I'm going to make the button purple. And I'm going to make sure it's highlighted, in the center. And then on top of this shape, I'm going to put the call to action. Here. And then I'm going to set, and then I'm going to make it pop a little bit more. And then center it in my box. And I'm done. There's my slide. So once I'm done with my slide, I've got to get it into a format that I can then upload to my website. Because we can't upload this Google Drawings to the website. We got to export it to a typed file that will allow us to upload. So the way we do that, when we're done, we go to File, Download As. You can pick if you want to download as a JPEG or a PNG. Either one works. I'm going to do JPEG. So a PNG file, they basically are the same. They're both web files. They're both RGB type files because computer screens are RGB. CMYK is when we print, and that's TIFF and PNG and EPS files. Web files are your PNGs and your JPEGs. The difference is a PNG can have a transparent background. So like your logo, it's a PNG file because if you save it as a JPEG, you would see the white box around it. But when you save it as a PNG, you can make it have a transparent background. So when you upload it to the web on top of something, it doesn't show you that white background. Okay? So I have saved it as a JPEG because I don't have anything transparent in here. So I'm not worried about that right now. But it would still work the exact same if you did PNG. So you'll see when you download it, like downloads it to your physical computer. It doesn't download it to your drive. It downloads it to your physical computer. So now I'm going to go back to my website, and Carol, I'm going to delete this. Well, actually, I need to use the middle school. Justin, I'm going to use yours. Well, actually, who color scheme? Minor. Minor's kind of goes without. Okay. So, obviously, got to log in. Let me do that real quick. All right, so when I get here, I'll know I want to upload it to there. So the first thing I've got to do, because I've got to get into my back-end settings of my slideshow. So I first turn design mode on. I scroll down a little bit. I hover over my banner module, and I click on the pencil. So this pencil shows me all the images that are currently uploaded to my website. So now I'm ready to add the one I just designed. And everyone will see when you get here, there's a big plus and it says add image. So I'm clicking that. when I get here, this is the portion that's this is the part I need to fill out in order to get that image to show on my slideshow. So first I've got to be able to find it, and I've got to upload it to my server. So let me explain this, because I think most people get this, but sometimes this confuses people. A website is not, it doesn't really have the capability unless you're running a small business, you know, from your house. It's not connected to your computer in any way. So when you have a picture in My Documents and you want to upload it to your website, you've got to upload that picture to the website server so that it can connect. Because a lot of people, like let's say there's an image on your page, and you just copy that image, you selected the text, and you copied the text along with the image, and you went and pasted it on the website. And today, that image shows up. But tomorrow, or the next day, that image is going to become broken, because it doesn't know what it's linked to. When images and videos and stuff like that are on a website, it's not the whole, it's like when you're, let's say you're working on a PowerPoint and you're uploading pictures to that PowerPoint. That PowerPoint isn't actually holding that whole image in there. It's connected to a folder that it's speaking to, so it can then display what it wants. Have I lost everybody with that? I'm trying to make it clear if I think I've confused myself. But I just want to explain, this part is you uploading your files to the website server so that it can render properly. Okay, this is how that part functions. So this part right here, you can organize this how you want. This is like your website's My Documents. You can consider it like that. So on this portion, you'll see where you can add folders, so you can organize it. And then obviously where you can upload. So let's see. His are out in the open. So what I could do is I could create a folder right here that says Home Slideshow. Then when I get ready every time to upload an image to my Home Slideshow, I know that that's where I'm uploading it. So you can choose how to organize this. So I'm going to click Upload. Then I'm going to go to Select. And now I know it's saved to my Downloads folder. Downloads. And then there's my slide. So I just found it. And now I just uploaded it. So that was me taking a file on my physical computer and uploading it to the website server. Now, when you get to this part and you're like, okay, I uploaded it, now I'm ready to insert, and you hit insert, it's going to show up right there in that little box. So you've uploaded your file. Now, anything I'm sure everyone knows, if you see an asterisk, it's required to move on. So you'll notice you've got 3. You've got to obviously add your slideshow. You've got to name it, and you've got to give alt text. I think I've gone over this before with a lot of y'all, but the alt text functions for people with disabilities. So when they hover over an image, they'll know what that image is referencing. And then also it helps increase your search engine optimization, SEO, which is through search engines and Google, Bing, Yahoo, all that. So I usually make my name and my alt text the same. So I can put Tech Camp, and then I'm just going to copy and paste. No, don't do that. Doesn't that annoy y'all when y'all are trying to do something and these start coming down? And then you accidentally click on one and then you totally lose where you were. So I've got my individual places. Now notice right here, this is where I add my URL because I included a call to action. So I've already made, let's assume I've already made a page on my website that's all about Tech Camp. And now I'm going to copy paste that URL from my website that I've already created, and I'm going to paste it right here. So then when they click on that slide, it's going to take them to that page all about TechCamp. Okay, so that's where I would put that. And then when you're done with all that, you hit insert image. It's going to then put you back where you started. And I don't know if y'all know you can do this, but you can control the layout or the order in which these are shown. So if you just drag and drop, it'll let you reorder them. Okay. Then I want everybody to click on the settings part, because what we're going to do, we're going to make sure our settings for our slideshow, we want to make sure they match. Where's my little blog? I must have closed it out. We're going to make sure that our settings match this right here. So if y'all need to refer back to this blog post, it's the slideshow. So definitely want to make sure that randomly selected is not on, because I want y'all to be able to control, like, you know, if online registration is going on, you probably want that to be like one of the first slides. You don't want it to be last. So definitely make sure that first image part is selected. Slideshow mode is on. That way you can hit play and pause at the top, and you can click. The show controls allows you, the user, to say, oh, wait, what? I didn't see that. Let me click back over. Because if you don't show them that, they're going to have to sit there and wait for it to go through again. But if you got the controls, they can navigate it themselves. School Messenger recommends that you don't exceed, I think it's 8. So I think 10 really needs to be the max, because the more of these we upload, the slower our websites are going to be, just because these are, it's big files. So keep that in mind. Don't go over 10. But you can change that. Like, you could change it to 15, but just know that your website may be a little slow that day. Okay. Then you can change how long each slide takes. So I recommend anywhere between 3.5 to 5 seconds. I don't think you can do in half on here. 3 seconds is a little too fast. So I would say either 4 or 5 seconds. Then this is where you can edit your height and your width of your slideshow. I wouldn't really recommend doing that much, but just know that if you do change this, that the templates we've provided won't match anymore, and you would have to go into Google Drawings and change the layout of your template. Do you want me to show you how to do this? If that comes up?
So we should actually have what's up in 5 years at 300 and 1,000.
Yeah, but this is the middle school template. So yours is the high school template.
375.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just keep in mind that the templates that we've provided were set for the original size. So if you've changed your size of your slideshow, those templates won't work for you. And the way you would make them work for you is you would simply go back to your slide, your working Google Drawing folder, and you would click on File and then Page Setup. You change your inches to pixels, and then here you could say, make that 380. Okay. So that's how you would change the template dimensions if you needed to. Okay. And then the action on click, we definitely want to make sure all of our actions on click are that they open the URL in a new window. Because how many times have y'all been browsing on y'all's computer and you're deep into it, and then you click on this site and you're like, wait, where was I before this? And you have to click back 1,000 times. Wouldn't it have been so much easier if when you clicked on that link, it opened in a new window? So think about when you're adding links. Your parents and your viewers have the same frustrations we all do. So when you're adding a link, make sure it's opening up in a new window. Now, the times when you don't really need to do this is when the link takes you to a page already on your website, like it's an internal page. For this, I would keep it like this though, because even though more than likely the pages that they're clicking on is something internally, it's still nice to have where you started and then where you went. And definitely if you're linking to an external page, like if you're linking to a Scholastic website, you would definitely then want to do a new link, because you want your viewers to stay on your website for as long as possible. Okay? So that's why we do that. And then when we're done, we just hit update settings and we go back to our home page. And now we can see what we did. I think it'll be the last one. There it is. Okay? So now do we want to take a little while to maybe work on a few slides? And then me and Carol will be coming around if y'all have questions. And then we'll move on. Let's time ourselves. We're going to lunch at 12. It's 10:50. So let's do like 15 minutes. So 11:05 we'll move on. Yes.
That's not the right size. I like the way. Probably.
Yeah, I would stick with first slide. Just use your slideshow template.
I did it for that.
Make sure that whenever you add a slideshow, start out with your template. And then that way, it guarantees you that they're going to be the
Let's
same.
see, now that this one's on because this one was on.
Right.
And that's what I was talking about when we're jumping up and down. So I would say whenever you're like, okay, I'm going to add a slideshow to my website, just start with the template. And then that way you know that it's going to be the same size throughout. You don't even have to think about it. That's what I would do. That's what I do right now. You're welcome. Yeah.
There's a blur on all of them. Yeah, well, okay, let me show you what. This is something that I'm struggling with. Like when we're going field trips, whatever we have. These are the kind of pictures that I get.
I'll try to get people to remember. Picture sideways and then on.
And then so this is allowing you to name it. And then decide
They're
on
not
the
big pictures.
There you go. So I start out with the ruler.
Okay, so first you gotta create. Maybe you put this, maybe on the knees on it, or maybe to make it like here. Oh, yeah. So what you do is
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. I want that picture.
Has anyone seen that Facebook file? I don't know if it was a file, but it was a mama that was mad about this.
Yes. I shared from her.
It was so funny. And I just wore crazy hair. My crazy son. He's like, and they were like, I'm yeah, just say
I got the first one.
Yes. If you want to delete that photo.
You know, we call this Winston. That's right. Of course, this is before they went out. So I'm sure that that was the office. Huh?
My husband is now working at so.
Yeah, but you'll probably, I'll have to get you.
Never back on the resume here.
What you were each of, share with me, please. Because I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have studied Can you take that little bar? Sure.
You're doing great with us. It's a very good pace, and you're being very patient.
One,
And I like this. I like this. We'll teach them the worst students. It's like nurses are the worst patients.
So when we were doing permission, I came back and checked, and she has permission on her guidance page. And I texted her and let her know, and she says, it's still not showing you too far left to edit the page.
Okay, let's go to the guidance page. And then let's go to the options, properties. And we can actually make her the owner. So that she doesn't have to worry about it, so just mark her as the owner. Here's one for you. This is one way. No. Now we're gonna hit Kevin. Okay. And now hit page, and I tell her to refresh it, and see what happens.
All right, now, I'm gonna want you to say, and say, oh, now, this is, if it's in the attention. So good, okay, now, I did something else and I'm not gonna go back to it. See, I didn't get to take a look.
So right here, so you can see all.
I see the whole
So you just want to make sure that you have. I just highlighted it. See, that right here looks skinnier
It does.
than it is.
Initially, what I did with that was I had a comment. Okay, now, could I be, this is the size when I initially inserted it?
Yeah, I think this one is the only one you actually use with all of these.
No, this one I did not. This is the old one, that's the skinny one.
Because that's the same as the dimensions for the slideshow. And all the other ones aren't.
Okay.
So this one actually is the only one that is the correct size. I think the other ones you may have, how did you create this other one?
It's the version of the first one. You put the spoons.
I bet he didn't use a
I don't think so because I showed him.
So what
So
I
in
would
actually,
do.
I want to go back to this. Go back to this.
What I think, I think I would stick with your.
Well, and
Carol, what were the pixels of your slideshow of the high school? That's right.
And that's.
So now. We're just gonna move back here. And then we're gonna crop. Because when we make it bigger, see how when we made it bigger and there's more room down here now?
Yes.
It's gonna fill in that space. So we wanna make sure that this image, that the bottom of it is fitting the bottom of the template. So after I do that, so we're gonna figure out what am I selecting? What is that box? So then I just kind of line that image up, see how I line it up. And now I'm taking this right one and I'm kind of snap. Then I'm gonna make sure that. Now that's. Yeah, you may have to, because it looks like this image, it looks like you created something else, but this is text. So it must be because you saved it as a JPEG.
I did.
Uploading.
So I didn't just do it completely over.
Because I would, if you can find this Google Chrome drawing where you did it.
No, I didn't do it. I just did it right here. And I just went to text and.
That's right, so if you can find that original that you worked with, and you can change. But I'm gonna say, for your purposes, let's make all of your images, let's keep them at 965 or 75. And let's always use this as the, so what I'm gonna So I would say, look at all the ones that are uploaded and put it in here first. And I would just. Then that way you know that all of it's the same thing. You got to put one down, so you know they're all. Because it is confusing when they're all different. Because when I first started, I didn't have my problems. Wait, this is side. Now I've got it kind of where I know.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for that question. I'm great at doing it. So if you, if you can, it. So I'm doing that.
All right. Let's look. We're going to try to cover calendar and news before lunch and work on it a little bit. We're going to try to cover calendar and news. Calendar is really quick. News is a little more in depth. So do you want to do calendar first or do you want to do news first? Let's do calendar first. Okay. And then when we get back from lunch, I just have to go over a few more things like advanced. I want to show y'all some advanced things. And then we're just pretty much going to take the rest of the time to just work. Okay? Is that what y'all want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
And so before you start with calendar, one thing I would say about calendars, I'm showing you, Karen, how to do this back there, but you can link
a calendar to any page. You can have an upcoming event on your library page, or on your guidance page, or on a teacher page. So it really makes it look a lot more professional than just having a list of dates going across the bottom of the screen.
You can add a slideshow to your page too, like, maybe you can add a news, like a teacher can have their own news engine.
Yes.
So what y'all learn today on a big scale, y'all can take back to your school and teach on a small scale for your teachers and for your other staff members who are updating.
Okay, so Google Calendar. I love Google. I'm a big fan. I know some people feel differently, but I hope we can all embrace. And I also have a blog article about syncing Google Calendar with your website calendar. So if y'all also want to follow along with this as we go, y'all can, because I'm going to be basically doing exactly what this says. Okay. So let me go to my calendar first and explain a few things about calendar. Okay, so when you get to, if everyone wants to go to Google Calendar, it's calendar.google.com. And then, of course, you've got to use your JCBOE account. Got to use your JCBOE. Calendar.google.com. There's the URL for it up there. Sure. Okay, so definitely if you're already signed in, you gotta use that jcboe.k12.al.us. Password's the same. All right, so the reason I love Google Calendar is because I have, and this is another connection kind of to how I was explaining the navigation bar. If I had all my calendars, let me do that real quick. All right. So this is right now it looks like a blank canvas, but this is my skeleton for my calendar, okay? It's my basis, and I build on top of it, but it never actually is, you can always separate them. So if I wanted to just show my Whitley Lust calendar, which is what I share, like anybody can go on Google Calendar and you can search on other calendars and you can type in my name and you can see what I'm doing that day. So you can all see, oh, I need to get Whitley to come to my school to do training, and you want to see what I'm doing that day or what my schedule's like, y'all can all go subscribe to my calendar and add it to y'all's, so y'all can see when you want to schedule something, you can go see what I've already got scheduled out. Okay. So this my calendars part, when it's all closed up, this is what it looks like. I hide my mini calendar because I don't need to see that. So y'all can hide that if y'all want. I hide mine. The my calendars part is calendars that you yourself have created or someone else has created and then given you permission to edit and share or just edit. So those are the different feeds that are going to show up in your My Calendars part. Other calendars are calendars that you have on your Google Calendar, but that you do not have rights to edit. They're just viewing. You're just viewing them. So I just wanted y'all to understand the way those two parts function. So when I open up my calendars, these are the ones I myself can edit and share. So I can start building what I want to see. Today, I definitely need to know what I'm doing. I need to know if there's a board meeting. I need to know what my department's doing. I need to know what's going on in the district. I need to know what y'all are doing. And then I also need to know that basic school year calendar that we all have, that we all abide by. It's that one we create every year. Okay? So those are the calendars that I look at a lot. But sometimes I need to go and I need to find out what the arts education department's doing. So I may come over here and click on arts education, and it's going to show me what they're doing. But that's too much, so I hide it when I'm done with it. This one's really crazy, but it's one that I created this one for the counselors. I'm just going to show this calendar. This is the counseling calendar with all like the awareness dates and stuff like that. Stuff we can use too, so that's why I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and create this, because now all of this stuff we won't use, but when it comes to like special education day, like that would be something that we might want to promote. So this will just show you how you can have a calendar, but you can decide what you want to show on your calendar, and you can toggle different feeds on and off based on what your needs are. For our main purposes, this is that school year calendar that I have in one spot right here, but I have shared to 59 different locations. But I only update it from one, and it's right here. So this school year calendar, I've also embedded in, that's where the 59 parts are. We've got 59 websites. So I've actually embedded this one calendar feed into all 59 of our websites. So basically what I'm saying is that y'all can go take your school calendar that y'all use for a school, and that probably has these dates on it too, but y'all don't even need to necessarily add them because they're already here. So take your school calendar, put it in a Google Calendar feed. Make one. The way you make one is you click right here and you hit create new calendar, this little drop down. So you may call it Francewood website calendar. And then that way you know everything that's going on that feed is also going to be coming over to the website. Because you definitely don't want to put out like parent meeting, like individual parent meetings. Definitely like if every parent's invited. So that's the way you would create a calendar. So after you do this, you can add a description if you want. You can add a location if you want. Right here at this part, share this calendar. We want to go ahead and make this calendar public because we know it's going to go on our website. So that's obviously open to anyone in the world to go to. Anybody in the world can go to any of our websites. So that's why we want to make sure that we have that part checked. Then if we want to share it with other people in our school, let's say we want to share it with all of our teachers. All those email addresses that work, those group email addresses that work with @JeffCoed, like you can send all counselors at jeffcoed.com. It says all counselors. Do y'all have those for your school?
Like Penn City has, since it's an old school.
Okay, great. So you can type in Penson Yes at JCPOE, and it's going to do that for the Google side. So that way, when you create it, you can then share it with all your people, and they all have a digital version instead of printing them out like someone said over there. They printed out their calendar and gave it to all their children, and we know that those children are going to take them straight home and give them to mom and dad, right? But this can be the digital version of that. Okay? Yeah. So then you hit create calendar when you're done, and it's going to warn you that you've shared it with the public, because most calendars it's like internal, so it just wants to forewarn you that, hey, this is going to be available to the public, and you say okay. So now I've got it's going to refresh, and you'll see now I've got my Grantswood website feed. So now when I go at a calendar event, like I'm going to click on the 9th. And I'm going to type in school pictures, I'm pretending. And then right here is where I get to pick which calendar feed I want to put it on. So I'm going to select Grantswood website and then hit create. So now I've got this feed, all right? So now what I'm going to do, let's pretend I went through my whole calendar and I added all of that. I repeated that over and over and over again. Now you also realize that you can click on this and edit it, and you can make it, like if it's not an all-day event, you can do the time. If it spans a few different days, you can, make it, actually that's back in time. Like if it's a 2-day thing, you can do that. You can enter the location, which is connected to Google Maps. Here's where you enter any guest if you need to. You can also add attachments. So let's say you have a parent night event, and that parent night event has a flyer that you created. You may attach that flyer event to this calendar. Okay?
Be careful with the color. So I put that around our calendar and had all the office staff look at it, and they kept saying it's just not there. Well, because the coloring is specific.
Yeah, because when you color, it's only coloring it for you. Everybody else gets the opportunity to color code how they want to. So if I share this with y'all, y'all see it's coming up orange on mine. If I share this with y'all, that it doesn't mean it's going to come up orange for y'all. It'll be whatever. Oh my God. But you do figure everything out. Okay, so now that we've got our calendar feed, we want to go add it to our website. So how do we do that? How do we do that? I'm going to go to Grantswood. I'll remove this. I'm just playing with yours. So I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to find my calendar, which is here, right? There it is. Please. There it is. Okay. So now that I've found my calendar, I'm going to log in, which are already logged in. So give me a sec. Okay. So, and notice that when we're logged in, we see these, but other people don't. So just so y'all know, because I was like, wait, can everybody see this? So we're going to click on external calendars. And now we're going to go to where it says add iCal feed. You can see he's already got his in there, but we're just pretending like I said. Now I'm going to come back over to my calendar. And I'm going to click on the drop down arrow on the feed that I want to share. Make sure you're not accidentally clicking another one, because they are kind of tiny. They're really tiny. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to click on calendar settings. I'm going to scroll down to where it has this first little lime green iCal button, and I'm going to click on it. And it's going to show me the URL, the unique URL for just this calendar feed. It's not your whole calendar. So when you do this, you're not sharing your personal stuff and everything else you got. You're just sharing that one calendar feed. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link, and then I'm going to come back to my website, and I'm going to click add iCal feed. And now watch how hard this is. I'm going to hit Control V, paste it, add iCalendar. Then it's going to ask me to name it. He's already named one, so I'm just going to call it that. I'm going to pick a color for it. We're going to pick a gray. And it already automatically puts hourly, but just make sure. and then update calendar. And now within an hour, what I put on this calendar is going to show up on this one. Okay? Confusion, want me to repeat some steps? What parts are you confused about?
At the pause or when calendar settings and how.
The first little one, there's a public, there's a private one. If you want to do the first one. Does everyone, go
Let's
ahead.
go back a little bit further, if you will, because, you know, I was kind of following, you know, looking at it.
Yeah.
But make your calendar public when they go on, events, business, world.
Correct, because they're already, all their websites are already visible to the world.
So, yes, it's good.
Yes. Now, you would want to do that for like your internal calendar to make it sure that you wouldn't want to put that on the website. But these things are things that are open to the public knowledge, public information.
And that's why necessitated us doing a separate Google one, because like at Grantswood, the Ann Tillman calendar has single everything, every IEP meeting, every whatever.
Yeah.
And we don't want to share that with the world, so you have to create a separate thing like public. It even has your doctor's appointments on there.
Yeah, don't share your doctor's appointment. But yeah, do y'all think that this would be something that you could easily go back to your school, take your school calendar, type it in, and share it on their website? Y'all feel like that's, and that y'all gonna be able to easily do that? Given time.
The library, but I guess the school is working on it. Your library, we're doing it.
Yeah, what we do today, like if y'all go ahead and add one today, it takes up to an hour for it to actually show up on the website. So like when you go today to add an event, you'll know that within an hour, you need to make sure it gets submitted. But I haven't really had any issues. But except for that. Okay, so we're gonna have about 10 minutes for this, and then we're gonna do lunch.
So are you able to share the Outlook calendar the same way that we're able to share the Google calendar? Okay, so nothing here for people. Pick up one. Yes, there should be either like one or like the other. They decide here that everybody. Figure out what steps. It's looking really good, and one of the things that I do tweaking is the code on the layout of the homepage, like adding extra red boxes. Like making it good. Little things like that. Announcements first. from across.
So what you're gonna do, you know, when you log in, you'll find,
She likes to. You can pick that up. Well, first of all, I was thinking make. Right, you know the difference,
And she said something about there was a photo gallery option here that you can just use.
There is, but she said she also doesn't work, she does a flipper one on the district page. The flipper has to be made first, and then and next. And I've not done that, so I can figure it out really quickly, but she knows it goes. She said, but if you make one on flipper, she said that was super easy to embed.
There's just.
Twitter is actually.
Well, like on Facebook, straight set, like,
Yeah.
unless you're actually.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask her.
so what,
Yeah, I feel like it's like, I need to log in, save it, share it, email it to her, log in.
But yeah, so you could change this to your.
and y'all can change the color of your calendar, like, in the edit. It's in that edit, if you
I wanna say it's on that little tutorial page
and
that
there's
she
a
keeps
little
going
part
back
that
to.
says color, if you want
I'm
to
pretty
match.
sure Flickr's one of the. I don't know. Okay, y'all hear something happening, I get connection to, for the server, but
Yeah.
They sell, I'm wondering where that is.
Not for the text.
Wait.
How should we do And normally when we text in from an hour,
The more I put on there, I have, the more you play with them.
All right, well,
let's see.
So
that is going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're connected.
You're welcome.
And then I would help, no, it wasn't even, share that calendar with her, and then y'all can work on that one calendar. That was pretty good. And then y'all will have to manually do that. Manually is for the birds now. We are automated people here. We have done so good on time. And then schools is like, they confuse me, and I know they're confusing all.
I think to get every, it doesn't matter what direction I go with mine, that's how I know, so I'm trying to get everything from both. Either or. Whichever one you prefer, is really what it comes down to.
She said, you're, she doesn't want it.
The school menu.
Will change the menu Sunday. And it's
Okay, so our nutrition department, we pay for schoolmenu.com, like a bunch of schools that show parents what their child is having for lunch that day at the district. So if y'all have an issue with that, I would contact something.
Well, today we have 15 breaks for lunch.
Yeah, 15 breaks for lunch.
Yeah,
I know, like that.
10 different kinds of
Our parents
cereal.
would be like, are they really getting all this? I would rather be like, no. Like,
It's a smoothie.
and I mean, we eat lunch in our classroom, so we get sausage biscuit and milk. We're still-
They're probably making it for every school, and it's probably really.
Perfect, thank you so much.
I would say.
There is a standard, like pretty much every school is having about the same thing. Because like my daughter's at one school, and my son's at another, and I'm at another school, and we pretty much all have the same thing. They will make those changes, I just, that, to me, if I'm on this really published website, and then I put on there, it makes me upset.
Yeah. Did you do that? Did you get the way Did you do it in?
Oh, let's see. No, it was on, she had a link to, no, to your email, Jeff Cody, and Jason Neal.
They were kind of doing that here. That was the
Individual drawing. Did you just pull from pictures or did you take pictures? Okay, and then you just kind of learn that more really cool. You know, that's all.
Yeah, and this is usually, and sometimes I don't want to run it. But, I didn't know we were going to work with the last time I looked at it.
Everybody's got a cafeteria link or a lunchroom or something like that, and that takes you to schoolmeeting.com. At first, in our old place, it took you to schoolmeeting.com, and you had to go to each room to find, I didn't know that. So now, guys, it said, please go directly. Yeah, I would say
See, I have that copy, like, you know, the one I have a copy. I just got, like, I was like, where to go under that section, but it probably just went under another section.
I would say another town.
That's what I did, I'm gonna do.
And the time.
I was wondering about the same thing.
Yeah, I had no idea that was in for.
Yes, I was clueless about that whole, and at high school, they don't really, they don't school to do anyway. Like, they don't do the little thing around the wall.
Yeah.
That's why we've been out
It's a
there.
smoothie. That's the best part for the day. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, does people finish the album?
That's it.
And I thought you were.
Yes.
We'll play with it and see what he's doing. Because I've been using the worker, but it's really fun.
Well, why did she? There's no other,
Because there's so much out. Sometimes I try to get a little bit I'll look and see because I've never felt like that when I did anything, I just you know, but that would be really awesome. Because honestly, when I'm dating, this happens. No, we haven't. Yay! Okay, what is this one called? Because honestly, when I'm editing photos, I'm editing it like I'm not trying to get in there and make
Exactly. Why does that keep coming up? All right, do we want to spend 15 minutes on news and then go to news and come back and work on news? All right. I'm gonna go delete that calendar before I forget, Lindsay. You'll have tech camp up there. What's tech camp? All right. All right, we're gonna move on to news.
Earlier was it's even again.
Get something else.
I was trying to lay out a little bit, and then I come back to
It's a puzzle every day. Okay, so we're gonna start the calendar for 15 minutes. I'm gonna teach for 15 minutes, and then we'll break out for lunch. And when we get back from lunch, we'll play with our news engines. And then we're gonna quickly kind of show really minimum things for teacher pages. And then I want to show y'all some cool new stuff that we're kind of working on. Some of you may be like, okay, I'm not ready for that yet. That's fine. But for some of you that are ready, I'm going to be showing y'all some kind of newer things that y'all might be interested in doing. But for now, let's work on our news engines. So, like Carol said, where you can put a calendar on any page, you can make a news engine for any page. So if your counselors want to have their very own news section on their counselor page, they can have that. If a teacher wants to have his or her very own classroom news engine, they could have that. We're going to learn today on a bigger scale how we're managing it for your whole school. But what you learn today, you'll be able to take that and teach other people how to use it on their individual pages, okay? So on the blog, I've also got a step-by-step guide on what I'm about to teach y'all. And if you click on calendar, it'll come up. And this is the news engines down. Wait, so on your news engine, you may have, so when School Messenger taught us how to do the news, remember that day, way back in the summer, they used severely confused. They had like really confused. So I have now finally gotten the flow of it. So I've just now really gotten it. So I'm going to try to teach y'all the best of my ability and hopefully you'll leave understanding exactly how to add news. So what you want to do, number one, is we're going to locate on your website where your news page is, because every news engine is going to have its own page. It's probably under school and then news. Hopefully we're still not using that what's happening page, or that whatever we were trained on. It just, the way it was connected, it just confused. So, because we already had the school news page added. So when y'all came that day and y'all were adding to the what's new page and you were wondering why it wasn't coming up, adding news to a page that didn't even exist on the website. So today, I don't know why that keeps coming up. Today, we're going to locate the one news page that is for your whole school. And you only need one. You only need one news page that's for your whole school. Now, when you talk about the little teacher news pages, yes, those will all be individual, but you only need one for your whole school.
So if we don't have one, we can create.
Yeah. So if you can't find it, if it's not like Out Here News, or if it's not underneath any of these, you may want to go click on school and then go to page options and page status. Make sure it's not being hidden. If y'all want to check that real quick, if you can't find it, because it may just be hidden and all you have to do is hit show to make it show up.
I wonder, I don't want to call it events. I wonder if I called it events instead of news.
No, I did that. You can delete events. You can delete that events page, because unless you're using it for your own events, then you just delete it.
Okay.
Or archive it or hide it, whatever.
What if our news page is still on that main page, on the home page under that what's happening?
Under that's what's happening? Okay.
So you probably figured it out.
I made it work. Because
So if I want to add a page, what page am I adding?
okay, so if you want to add a news page, let's say you want to add one. First, decide where you want to put it under. Do you want it on your main navigation bar? If you want it on your main navigation bar, you got to hit home first and then plus page. But if you want it underneath school, you got to click news on our home page. And she doesn't have a news page, so she's going ahead and creating it. But you probably okay. So I'm going to go to Grants Woods news page. Here it is. So I know that when I'm adding school-wide news for my website, I'm coming to this page, and you're going to the one you're on right now. So I'm going to add an article. A student just got an award at my school, and I want them on my homepage. So I'm going to come up to plus page, and I'm going to click on news content page. All of these other ones are not useful on news page. Every time you add a new news article, you got to start on your news page, and then you got to go to plus page and then news content page every time. Okay, so I'm going to click that. And when I do, just like when I add any page, the first thing it's going to ask me to do is name that page. So this is the first title that for your news article. Now let me show you where this is going to display. All right, that first, move this, when you type in the title right here, that title is going to populate right here. So if I click on this article, you'll see here's my first title and here's my second title. So you can choose. I always make them different. I make my first article shorter because you have less space. So I may have made this, even though it's in Spanish, I may have made this just say annual evaluation instead, and just put that. And then on this part, I may be more I may include all of it. So this first portion that comes up is, in my opinion, needs to be shorter because it's going to populate in this little red part, and y'all's may look different, but that's where it's showing up. Okay, so in this, I'm going to put student wins. Student wins scholarship. It's real short to the point. Then I hit create page. This next portion that comes up is where I actually put in my information for my news part. I skip summary, but if you want to increase your search engine optimization, you can always type up a summary. I'm sure y'all have lots of time to do that. I don't do that, but so you can skip that. What I do is on the title, I add, like on this part, I put student wins scholarship right here. But in this title, I may put Bobby Lee, or maybe I put 11th grader Bobby Lee takes home $1,000 scholarship. But you can see it's about the same thing, but they're two different ways of describing it. Yes. Yes. And this part right here, this one is what's going to show up, like she said, on your home page. So really, this one's the most important, I would say. This one is not so important, but still important. Now, you always want to add a featured image. If you do not add a featured image, then obviously an image isn't going to come up. And then if you add one for this news article, but you didn't add it for this news article, it's going to look weird. It's not going to look fluid, and it's going to throw your homepage off. And what do we all know about images? I mean, they tell the story way quicker than our words do, and I guarantee you that those people are going to be so much more interested in the images you're putting in the news article instead of the actual text that you're sitting there and typing. Okay? They'll look at those pictures before they'll read your article. So you definitely want to always add a featured image. We don't have to use a template for these. Isn't that nice? Just find an image and it'll crop it down how it's supposed to. So just like when we added the slideshow before, we have to add it to our server, to our website server. So we're going to upload it here. I'm going to use this one as an example. If you don't put a publish date, it will not show up on your home page. So you absolutely want to put your date in. This part is where you're going to be adding your actual news article content. So you can either copy and paste what was emailed to you. Like that's honestly what I get all the time. People send me emails and then I copy what they send and I may go change some subject verb agreements because they're saying I did this and I changed it to she did this. Because I don't have time to write an article for every single thing. Because y'all know better. The people sending it know what's going on way better than I do. If I didn't go to the event, how am I supposed to write about that event? It's still my responsibility to share what happened. So if I were y'all, if you want people to send you news at your school, I'd create a form. And I would say, if you want your classroom news to show up on the school website, this is the form you have to fill out. And once you fill this out, I'll upload it to the. But you got to streamline it, because when people are coming at you left and right to add stuff, how are you going to keep up with all that? Google Form. So this is where you put your actual content, and you've got all these tools up here. There's some tools that y'all don't have that I've got to go in and add. It's going to take me a little bit to do it, but I love y'all so much, so I'm going to do it for y'all. But I think y'all can't add links right now. There's not a world. What's the other thing that's missing? The world, and then the image. Yes, I've got to go through and do that for it.
That would be great if we could add more than one image.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the headline image, but then you can add other images.
How about when we get back at the end, we'll all go do that together, and then I don't have to do it. Okay. Because for some reason, y'all's is set up where it doesn't show that. But by the end of the day, y'all be able to add links in here as well, and other images.
You can also add a link to.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
Yes.
great.
Yes. Those options. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We have one more question about
Sure.
these. If you go to the front page of my website, you'll see that the black read more boxes cover up. Go down to the news. Check out that black read more box. It covers up the title of the news article. And then it was not that way before, but then one day it suddenly changed.
So on y'all's homepage, yeah, after lunch, we're going to pause where we are, and then after lunch, I'm going to show y'all how that data summary connects and how it all connects to the homepage. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to lunch, and we'll meet back here at 1:02. And if y'all brought your lunch, you're more than welcome to stay in here.
Actually going to be waiting for lunch to have an adult lunch with no children. Which never happens. You don't have to make.
That's good though.
Let me get me a drink.
You need some caffeine.
Well, I'm drinking caffeine all day, so I'm switching from coffee to something with carbonation.
And I'm actually gonna go, I'm not gonna go to those anymore. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna go to coffee place that also sells the cheese boxes. Do you want a coffee?
No, so sounds really good.
Like, you want me to do that here?
What do you do?
I get,
Is it sweet?
no sugar.
It's got no sugar.
But I can get some. What kind of coffee is it? It's just a
So,
And then I get
I could probably take my time. Charge sugar.
and then I get all the books and
I got sugar in
I'll be right back. I love that you're our Yeah.
I brought some food.
So are you connected like you want to be connected on your next page?
Uh, my newspaper, yeah, I'm good.
You're good with the next page too. You're fine with adding it and everything?
Yeah. I can do it.
You're good with that, okay.
Yeah, for the most part, I think, I've had teacher pages, I've done that, I've changed the things here in the application, I just did that today. But it's this,
I'll just say your banner's on.
it's the banner.
So it's easy to fix.
See, and that, even though that may be.
You want to crop it,
but
you
that
want to
needs
crop
to
the
be-
other way. You want-
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, so where is the picture original? Picture in the front or is the
No,
picture?
I have to look for it, I don't think I have it. And see, even this right here, that should be up a little more.
That's actually not too bad.
That's not too bad.
That I think would be okay.
Okay.
Well, see, and we may be able to steal it. If you took the original and it's in here, then it's uploaded to the server. So we may be able to steal it from here. So, and then we can do a Google Drawings. I edit everything in Google Drawings. I used to edit only things like Photoshop, but Google Drawings is
Like that.
really good. I don't know, better, but it's really good. It's got most of the pictures that I would need. If you go in there and edit, you should be able to steal it and bring it back out.
Like that, that's just completely off there.
So this one is off.
But that's big time, that's big time. Senior class, definitely have senior class.
Mhm. Is that what did you make? I'm just trying to find something to edit.
And you can all just try it.
Look at it. Did you prefer editing it?
Well, no, what's going on here, I'm adding something else. And so,
Ah,
and I'm just adding that to the news. So what did you do? You just kind of play with this a little bit? Because I know you know so much. So did you start just as soon as we, had that first meeting?
I did, I did a lot of this summer, and by the time things that come back, I'm like, you know, we can do this, and back to this, and I can change this.
Did you mess up anything at all?
No, I always saved everything,
Okay.
because I changed my layout. And
That would definitely, so, and you know, I kind of put those together.
I'm cheap,
So
go
that's,
back and forth so I can find it.
I put it in different places, and what I should have done, just title it, it may be under school, maybe under students. And that's wrong, that one, we all want to. I saw something, I saw, did you say something? It was an installation. Yeah. That's the point.
The same.
Yeah, yeah, because those are all the ones that I just did people out.
But so these have been edited, but we should still be able to use
Definitely that one, that's. Okay, good play. That's the same thing.
We will be able to show you through that, no problem. I just gotta figure out. It will let me steal the picture from here. You're set up to do right now. You don't have these pictures. You have the original. So I started creating your Google Docs. Is it can, as long as it fills up this space.
That space
This space is set, this space is set to 960 by 375. So, banner template.
Okay, open up my pen drive.
Smells so good, the matricul's so good.
And I got your sugar right here.
Let me show you, this is how I look.
Okay.
This, to me, this is the easiest way.
Okay.
I can take this picture right here and I can go. That's kind of what I do. And then you do that. I'm gonna say, okay, so it's not working, so then you can put it in the right dimensions. So,
Hey, copy, that smell good.
Just do this one for the profit.
Oh, that's what they should shout. Okay.
Perfect. Go here. Yeah. Keep trying to fight with it. I don't want to drag it, because that's going to distort the image.
Okay.
So I can either choose
Okay, so
to
show me.
center it,
Okay.
I can center it at this point, and then I could do something in the background. Or maybe I could choose a different image to blur over here or something.
Okay.
Because this one, no matter what I do to it, I can do this. And if you're okay with that, that's not terrible.
I like that a lot better.
That's not terrible.
I like that a lot better. But
It would've been much
make sure
worse.
I understand you right here.
And see, this is the exact dimensions now.
Yes.
Right, so then you can say, you don't want to say that it is your template, this is your front of the store. So, say template, like I say.
I'm gonna stop this broadcast and then I'll do half and half, don't you think? So
Yes.